What's the best performer in the S&P 500 this year? Nope. Not the correct answer, folks. I know, but everyone's thinking, right? And yes, until maybe a couple of weeks ago, it was Palantir, but it's number 2 now. Look at that. Seagate, number 1. I've been watching this stock for at least 25 years. I'm shocked myself. But my next guess, he says it's just getting started. I want to bring it out from Valtrion, the CEO, Rob Luna. Did I pronounce the new name?
You did, man. You got it.
Where'd you guys get that name? Sounds like a Viking superhero.
That's what I was telling my team today. Yeah. Value, the trio, build, protect, and grow wealth, and ION for energy, forward thinking, Charles.
I love it, man. That's very thoughtful. You know, it's interesting. One of the things that's been working in the market, not just recently, but for a long time, is chasing.
Yep.
But it's counterintuitive, right? People always say, did I miss the move? Even on a daily basis, oh, it's up 3%. Did I miss the move? And you say, no, go back to Amazon. That's a great lesson in terms of like these stories that are just getting started and people think they missed it.
Yeah, look, I mean, I started in the 90s, Charles, with Amazon and Google, and I was one of those Benjamin Graham guys at the beginning. So I was always looking to find value. And Amazon, if you waited to find value, you would have missed 1,000% on it. And I think this is one of the times when you take a look at the internet back then, we've got AI, which I think is going to be much larger. I'm just talking to these younger investors today who are trying to find these names at a discount. I don't think it's going to be happening. And I think one of the things I've always done is, you know, look to buy these pullbacks, and sometimes that works, but I've made the most money, Charles, buying names that are up. And a name like Seagate, you look at a name like Oracle, I think there's a lot of room to go in the upside.
Yeah, you know, it's so amazing in that regard, too. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to learn. Again, to the same thing. When I started, it was the same sort of thing. And, you know, but you live and learn, right? And I think what Amazon ushered in was a sort of path to profitability. Right. That's how I think a lot of folks on Wall Street learn, okay, I got to find a way to own this stock, right? You can't own it by the old school. Yep. You've got a few AI sleeper names in there. So you've got Seagate, you got Micron, and you got OUST. Yep. So what is it about Seagate this time around? Because again, they've only got one real competitor, which is Western Digital, which is the number 3 stock this year. But I've seen them go up and I've seen them go down, like dramatically and fade away. What's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, look, it is a commodity. Margins aren't something, it's not a platform company like NVIDIA. But when you look at where everything's going, when you look at the Internet of Things, you look at the physical world of AI, and you look at the storage and data centers, but also what we're going to need on the back end of this, I think Seagate, like you said, is the leader. They don't have a lot of competition. And over the next 2 to 3 years, this is a company I think can do 20 to 30% annualized.
Micron, right now it's the best performing semiconductor. I don't think if people know that for 2025. And today it's number 1 in the tech sector. It has made a huge, look at that breakout, mind-boggling move. And you say a lot more room.
Same thing, DRAM, this is one of the leaders over there. It's the only American company doing that. We know right now, for security reasons, Trump and the administration is getting behind that. So I think Micron's in play.
Yeah, I think it might have got 2 upgrades this morning also. Now this OUST, is that how do you pronounce it?
Yeah, OUST.
You know, I mean, I've seen it come across the tape. I don't know what the company does. It's got a beautiful chart bouncing off the 50-day right now. What do they do?
So OUST, again, going back to this physical world of AI, if you think about driverless cars, if you think about drones, they're going to need sensors. They're going to need to know where they're going. They're kind of laying that infrastructure. They got some big government contracts right now. This is a speculative name. They're not profitable yet, but to your point, you've got to kind of go like what Green Gretzky said, where that puck is going. Right. This is a name, smaller cap name. If you're looking to take on a little bit of risk for a big pop, I think this is a good name here.
How are you feeling about the overall market as we go into the Fed meeting next week?
I'm hoping, Charles, I think to your point, I think the Fed is behind the 8 ball. I think they come out with 50 basis points, and I'm really, really worried, Charles, about, like you're saying, data skews things. I think this gap is continuing to get too wide. Younger people need to get in the market. They need to become entrepreneurs. They need to start thinking a little bit different here, Charles.
And I want to ask you about that, your business. You really do this coast to coast.
Yep.
You help people,
right?
Entrepreneurs, and you help people from across the spectrum. Are you still feeling like the people want this? Do Americans still believe that that's out there attainable?
Yeah, they do, Charles. And I think, look, you know, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, I think, gave us a very good example of you don't necessarily have to go the traditional method of going to college and finding that. You can find your way. But I think the young people out there are looking for a way to do that. So our business, I used to be in private wealth management where you go and make your money and we'll put 1% on it. Now we're in business consulting and wealth management to get in there early, help them build, grow, scale, exit businesses. People that never thought they could be an entrepreneur, we're giving them the tools, the motivation to do that. And we're seeing young people do really, really well right now.
Yeah, I love the numbers, right? The entrepreneurship, the numbers, even social media. For all the negativity we're hearing about social media in the last 24 hours, 48 hours, I do like that people, young folks, are saying, "Hey, I want to pull myself up by the bootstraps." I think their timeline is a little crazy. You don't get a gold watch in the first day, but I like that they're trying.
Absolutely, Art.
Good stuff, Rob. Appreciate you, man.